Okay, hello. A little treat today. I'm going to give you a little walk around on my 1957 Chevrolet 3100 short bed pickup truck with the nickname Bullfrog. So the truck arrived to me back in summer of 2019 from the United States. In a sorry state of affairs. It was a right old basket case. It was in non-running order. There was a lot wrong with it, apart from the fact that it wasn't a runner. Everything was pretty much shot to pieces on it. None of the electrics worked, so everything had to be gone through electrical wise. So there's no lights, no switches worked inside, and no starter motor, and nothing like that. Also, the rear end, the rear axle was completely smashed. This side, the half shaft was completely worn out by worn wheel bearings. So that had to be replaced. As I wasn't going to find a replacement here in France, so I had to get the original replaced. By taking it to a local engineer who had to re-sleeve and weld up the shaft bearing end on the half shaft. But it's absolutely superb now. The truck had taken a bit of a smashing on the back end here. Obviously sometime in its life, and I believe that it was a works truck for a local community in Montana. And a heavy load was put on this side of the truck. It's too heavy for the bed and the cross members that run underneath this bed to handle. So what it did was it actually broke those chassis runners. So the back end here was actually tipped down by about 2.5 inches. So that had to all be leveled up. It was a big job. The back end of the pickup had to come off. The bed was totally stripped down. All the old wood was removed, and all the old metal strips were removed. Everything was thrown away, which was no good. Obviously, I was in two minds whether or not to buy new ones of these strips that run on the back of the truck. So I opted to repairing them. So after 5 hours worth of welding work, I think I did a pretty good job there. I was very pleased with the end result. I've tried to keep it as authentic as possible. Like I say, the truck is 95% original. So where possible, I've tried to repair items that I've removed from the truck. I'm not a big fan of the new made in China parts. They tend to be of very, very, very poor quality. So parts that I have had from China, I've actually not used. They got thrown away because of the poor quality, the poor design quality. They don't fit, poor metal, so they just got thrown away. I preferred to go and source second-hand parts or repair the parts that I actually took off the truck myself. So in the case of this, the back end, everything here has been straightened up by me and repaired by me. The only thing that's new on the back here are the rear brake drums, rear brake shoes. Grease nipples are all freed up again. The brake system, wheel cylinders were all rebuilt by me. It was all flushed through with new fluid, and the rear brakes work superbly now. There wasn't actually any rear brakes when the truck arrived. They had been removed for some reason, so there was no actually gubbins inside the brake drums. So I had to source out all those bits and pieces. Handbrake, emergency brake cables had to be replaced on the other side. And yeah, with that new addition of the rebuilt half shaft on the left hand side, the back end works pretty damn good now. I had to sort of source out a lot of photographs to see how the farm trucks looked with this wood on the side. So I actually had this wood lying around in a in an outbuilding of mine. It was just rotting in the corner, but I cleaned it all up, ripped it all down, made some struts here out of old oak window frames, and give it a nice coat of this is just linseed oil on here, so it's soaked in nicely, gives it a nice protection. But yeah, I like to patina on the wood, and I think it sets off the truck very, very nicely. Again, I try and go to Bracants and V Greniers, and if I come across an old part that's from the 50s, if it's a particular like a toolbox or an oil can or something like that, then I try and keep everything authentic. As we see there, there's a authentic USA Perfina fuel can with a fuel filler, Mercury triangle, toolbox, and another big toolbox there for storing me tools in. But yes, she came out pretty good. I didn't want to do anything with the bodywork because I quite like the old patina look and the ratty look. Yeah, I think it sets off quite nicely. Of course, it's preserving its age as well. I like to represent the life that it's had, and it's had a hard working life. So the patina actually reflects its very, very hard working life. So inside the cab here, unfortunately, this seat is a later edition, probably from a 1960s C10, but it fits okay, and it works. It's comfy. So the dash area here, nothing worked electrically in the dash. All this had to come out, and all the wires were rewired behind there. There's a new horn being fitted. I rebuilt the horn. It's quite a nice sound now. But getting the wires through the steering column here was an absolute nightmare. But there is a new loom section there, which goes into the engine compartment. I have got one more thing to do underneath here. Underneath here, where the heater and blower goes. There is a previous video of me testing the blower motor, which I rebuilt, and it's a deluxe model heater unit, as you can see by the switches there, which I've still got to get a couple of levers for at the top. There's my little addition here, which is a nice little addition. Little Jack Daniels bottle that hangs there. So there we go. That cam was actually hidden inside one of the kick plates at the side when I was readjusting the doors. So on this kick plate here, that cider can was crumpled up inside, but I thought it'd be nice to keep it. So yeah. So what was different on the 1957 Chevrolet pickup trucks? The bonnet is different. It has these two little ridges on the top of the bonnet, which was unique for 1957, these two little bumps here. So they're unique for 1957. Also the grille, that smiley mouth grille, was the only grille like that came out in 1957. If this would have been a V8 truck, on the front badge here on the bonnet, there would have been a V underneath the bow tie here. Again, this is an original badge. It would have had a black bow tie, and these intersections would have been painted red. There is still remnants of the red and the black, but I'm not going to change it because it adds to its authenticity. And I like to keep things original. I think they look much better when they haven't been mucked about with. Another thing was the side badges on the fenders. I think in 1956 they moved the badge from here, which is below this line here on the fender. The original badges used to be down here in a 55, but in 56 they changed them and put them up there. I think in 1956 they would have been two pieces. As you see here, there's a little line, so that 3100 bit would have been a separate piece, and the Chevrolet piece would have been another separate piece. But in 57, they came all in one piece. They are expensive to buy. If you lose those, they're very expensive to buy. But yeah, there you go. There's Bullfrog. Yeah. So let's have a little look under the bonnet, see what's going underneath there. I'll just put you down a minute. You can have a little look at the scenery just while I open this bonnet. Okay, so what did I do in the engine compartment? The engine wasn't running, so it was mostly an electrical problem, fuel problem, so I had to go through all the electrics. All the wires were either eaten through or very brittle, so they had to be checked and changed. I did a bit of rewiring here on the loom because it's completely shot to pieces. So this here is a loom that I actually made up myself, which is all pretty much for the horn and the lighting. So that's all brand new and runs through. All the lights work perfectly good now. That's a retrofit horn unit, which I've made to look old. The carburettor, I've had to completely rebuild the lower end of that Rochester carburettor. All of this here has all been rebuilt by me, and this little throttle linkage just here was completely broken, so I had to get in a second-hand Rochester carb from the States to rebuild my original carb. That was a bit of fun doing that, but it worked out all right. The little bit that I don't really like about in the engine compartment is the addition of the new looking aluminium radiator. Although it works very, very well, it is a made in China part, but it will suffice to now until I got a chance to recore the original radiator. There's a little overflow bottle that I retrofitted there, made myself, and the bracket made myself, and of course I've put a little battery cover on the battery to make it look oldie worldy. But yeah, apart from that, the engine runs perfectly well. It should start on the button first time every time. It's a straight 6 stove bolt engine for the Thriftmasters, 235, 30 brake horsepower. Doesn't go particularly fast. I've had it up to about 55 miles an hour, but it should do about 60. Doesn't do many to the gallon, probably about 12-13 miles to the gallon, so that's a bit of a sad state of affairs, but never mind. But apart from that, yeah, she's a good one. She's a very, very reliable engine. So yeah. So we'll have a little sit in. Ignition on. Yeah, she's a good truck. So there you go, that's Bullfrog. The 1957 Chevrolet 3100 short bed pickup.